do I have a compilation of books to show you today. Let's talk about the first one. This is Stephanie Fu's What My Bones Know. Right, so this is a book about the author's PTSD, or rather her journey as she's trying to navigate her life and trying to get back on track. I just bought it because the vibes, the look, and I was actually really happy to find out that, oh, this is about PTSD, and I'm like, yes! This is exactly what I need in my life right now. I think I've spoken about this book. This is Heaven by Meiko Kawakami. This is actually my first book of Meiko Kawakami. The reason why I bought this book was because of the cover. And I was looking for some Asian titles to read at the time. Plus, look at it. It's so thin. Anyway, so this guy, Kojima, as I recall, he's being bullied, not by her, but she's another victim of bullying. And anyway, this book is such a great read. You know how a lot of people, especially the victims of bullying, we tend to ask ourselves, why are they doing this? What made them bully us? What made them think that it's okay to do that? The thing about bullying, as I, go through therapy and all that jazz, I figured out that the bullies are also out of control. They want to be in control because they are not in control of their own lives. Some of them can be pathetic, and then some of them are also victims themselves. I think a lot of trauma, or I think a lot of hate in this world stems from our own internal conflict, and then a lot of it is being projected onto a lot of people. So this is actually one of those stories, and I've always recommended this to all of my fellow readers because this Meiko Kawakami is such a fantastic author, and it would do you well if you read her stories. Right, next book would be another Asian literature, which is Almond. This is by Won Pyong-sung, and this is mostly, again, about mental health. Apart from the vibes, I actually bought this because Suga from BTS read this during one of the episodes in The Soup. So Yoonjae, the main character, or rather the protagonist in the story, has a condition of sorts. It's called alexithymia. So Yoonjae is not able to feel any sort of emotions. And if you read the book, you will understand why. Because it's actually really hard to connect to other people, to express yourself. That's the thing. You can't feel anything. And the story, or rather one of the themes of the story, also deals with loss and death. So there's also the thing about understanding isolation and how people sometimes choose to be in isolation. Almond is such a fantastic read, and I think that you should definitely check this out if you haven't yet. This is A Certain Hunger. This is by Chelsea G. Summers. I bought this book out of curiosity. I was intrigued by what I read or what I heard about it online. Actually, I was just thinking, oh, is it gonna be that dark? And then I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna give this thing a shot. And then I picked it up. I read it. By the way, I bought this. I bought this in Canada. I bought this for $27.50. Yes, I'm an idiot. But then I said, I don't care. I want this book. I got this book and I read it, and it's awesome. Easily one of the best things that I've read in a long time. Yes, it is controversial, without a doubt. Easily one of the best depictions of female rage. Speaking of dark academia, yes, I know. This is Donna Tartt's The Secret History. I was actually aiming for another book cover of this, but during that time that I bought this actually from National Bookstore. It was 649 pesos then, and I was looking for the black cover, but I can't find it. So I just bought this, and I said, you know what? It's not really the cover that I like, it's the content. I just want to know. I felt the FOMO part in there. I was like, you know what? Everyone's been talking about this. I want to read it. I want to see what's up. And I read it. I know a lot of people are saying that, oh, that is so elitist. Like, that is so fake. Try. Just give it a try. Give it a try. Sure, this book is not for everyone. It's not really borderline ridiculous. It's just ultimately how fake some people are. The characters here, it's oh my god. It is overflowing with such arrogance and privilege. Richard is easily one of the most pathetic excuse for a main character. But wait. Before you go into my comment section, listen to me. This is exactly one of those stories that is so good that I really hate the characters. I don't know much about other people, but have I met some people like this? Yes. Particularly that of Henry and Bunny. There's a lot of bunnies in this world. Opportunists, my god. Obviously, I'm trying not to spoil too much about this book, but if you haven't read this book, read it because of interest. Read this if you'd like to understand more about humanity and how privilege and how a lot of us would love to be included into society, included into a group, or how humans are innately social beings that we cannot fathom to be alone, like really alone. Like we have at some point in our lives, we just wanted to belong, because that's what's going on here. That and a lot of lying. Right, next one. This is Pop Fiction 6 Degrees of Serendipity. I actually made a deep dive of this book somewhere here in my YouTube channel, and this is easily one of the books that I really liked. No, actually, like is an understatement. Love is what I'm going for. Really, it's about love, or rather the stages of love, and how some people in your life, you know, at the beginning and the chapters of your story, maybe at first appear as like a secondary character or just a passing person in your life, and then eventually fate decrees that both of you are gonna see each other again, and then you're gonna pick up from where you last saw each other, and it will be like, that's so cool. Have I experienced something similar like this? Yes. I think based from my own experience, okay, one of the best things I can teach my audience is that if a person chooses to leave you, let them. And you know what they say, rejection is redirection. So best thing I've ever done in my life. Right, this one, author's note by Wintertell. I haven't actually gone reading this. As you can see, it's still wrapped in its plastic. But the only reason why I bought this is out of curiosity. So again, this is under Pop Fiction. I bought this. When did I bought this? I think I bought this last year? Yeah, at first I thought that this character is a female because just look at it. But when I read the blurb here at the back, apparently this is a dude. And now I'm more interested. Because this guy is a character from an author's story, and then he comes out of that story and it picks up from there. So yeah, am I gonna read this here in this channel? Duh, of course we're gonna read this here. Right, this is Polaris, the Enchanted Book by Tina Lara. As you can see, well, actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there we go. I already have a little bit of flags here because I already started reading this and I stopped. I'm already on page 39 of this book, but I bought this book like a long time ago. So the reason why I bought this is because of the cover. The cover reminded me of a game that I was playing. So I bought the book. Actually, I bought the two of them. The other one's just right there. So I bought both of them. And yeah, so far I haven't actually forgot what this book is all about, because like I said, it's been a long time, but I think I want to get back into reading this book this year, so we'll see. Of course, if you've been in my channel, you and I both know that I love this book. This is The Town of Perpetual Autumn by Beatrice Pobre. I actually have two copies of this book. The first one is from an ARC copy, and then this one, I won this from the author's book launch alongside other goodies, and I've never been so happier. I'm gonna keep both books. The other one has a lot of annotations. This one serves as my display copy. If at any time anyone would come up to me and say, oh, what's your new favorite story? Something like that. I would always say, The Town of Perpetual Autumn by Beatrice Pobre. That's how easily amazing this book is. Am I a Beatrice Pobre super fan? Yes, obviously. And anyway, so this book is Her Last Cigarette, and this is by Aline Alanige. This is just giving me a lot of vibes. I'm looking into reading this book this year because I'm doing this thing where I'm like, I'm not buying a lot of books now, and I'm just rediscovering some of the books that I have in our house library, and then some of the books that I still have unpacked. Do I have a lot of book mails? Yes, I do. Right, next one would be this, Die by Just Villanueva. This is the first book in the series, and the first time I held this in my hand. My god. This is one of those sci-fi stories that I'm not also going to shut up about. And I know a lot of my friends kept telling me, can you just please stop talking about that book? But I can't help it. It's so good. And the way it was written, the action sequence, how the development of the story and the characters as they progress through it, it really showed a lot of depth, a lot of issues. When I say issues, it's about government issues, you know what I mean? Words are not enough for me to describe how easily beautiful, fascinating, amazing, brilliant this story is. I know, it sounds really overreacting, but it's just so good. I'm telling you, if you're going to the Philippine Book Fest, this year, March 13 to 16, SM Mega Mall. And if you find this book, buy it. No, you know what? I take that back. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm just saying that this is really a really good book. All right, this is one of those books from A-Pop Books. Are you aware of A-Pop Books? So this is being comfortable without effort. The author is actually the one who wrote I Decided to Live As Me. I bought this because I got interested, and I was in that time of my life where I need myself some help. I need a lot of help in my life, actually. I know, I may seem like I'm just flowing through life, but behind the scenes, I'm a tragedy. Tell you what, I actually have no idea how many books I've already shown you guys so far. But anyway, I'll just count it on post. So this is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I saw this in BookTube, and I was like, why is everyone crying whenever they read this book? I was really fascinated by it, and I was like, okay, I want to cry too. And then I started reading it, and at first I was like, you know what? This feels so long. I could cut this, or rather the editor could have like cut the story quite short. Sometimes it feels like it's over-explaining things that is already quite obvious. And then I run out. I run out of like book flags here. And then I just started underlining a lot of dialogues and lines and scenes in this book. By the time I reached the 100-page mark, I could do this. This is okay. I can do this. And then I reached the 200-page mark. That's what... That's when everything made sense. Do you hear that ambulance? If you can hear that ambulance in this video, just know that was me. That was me seeking help. Because I told myself, why? You know, sometimes curiosity killed the cat. And respectfully, if I tell you not to read a book, I need you to trust me. But again, up to you. But I'm just saying that if you've been having a hard time trying to release like emotions, and you know, you really want to have a good cry every once in a while, because I do that, read this book. I think you're gonna have a problem because it's thick. It's like this, and there's a lot of descriptions going on. Sometimes they can be repetitive, but as you go through and read, and you literally understand all of the things that goes on with these characters, that's when you know that this Violator, this is worth it. The finalist should have been a winner. The perks of being a Wallflower. Obviously, if you haven't watched the film yet, because this has been turned into a movie, and Emma Watson was there, Logan Lerman was there, Barry Allen was there. Barry Allen, I mean the actor of the comic book character. Anyway, you get my point. Ezra Miller, there we go. Ezra Miller is there. That movie is so good. But before that movie came out, we actually, or rather my sister, bought this book. I don't know, did she really bought this or was this given to her? This was July 5, 2012. I was just like, I saw this in our house library and I was like, okay, well, I saw the movie. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it. And then it's... I specifically remember that page where everything started to make sense. It's so sad and shocking. The value that the theme tries to elicit, tries to show the reader, you and me, is so important. How some things that happens in our lives, it's not because it's our fault. I'm not crying, I'm just, there's something stuck in my throat. These events happens to us because a lot of people are shitty like that. And we should not internalize that. But really, I know, I'm just trying to make all of the explanations as fast as I can and try not to spoil a lot. But really, if you have a chance to pick up this book or find a new cover of this book, really buy this book because of the content. It is so important that you read this book. This next one is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. And I believe I explained this in one of my classics video. I think I need to upgrade my classics video because I didn't really fully explain this book so well. I think Miss MJ, you might have heard of her. She scribbles and books on Instagram and I followed her and she does beautiful explanations of the books that she reads. So really go follow her on Instagram because she's so good. Easily one of the best people to learn about books. I know my nose is so itchy. Alright, next one. I didn't buy this book. This is actually my sister's copy. I just think that the cover is so nice. It gives off that sort of mysterious vibe to it. There's a series of photos on Instagram and Pinterest that other people are reading and they're like, if you're curious about Lolita, you know what I'm going with this. I actually have an ebook of this, but then my sister bought this copy and I'm like, I want to read it again. So this is one of those stories that are controversial. And you know me, I never really steer away from controversy. I don't thrive on it. It's just that I'm really a naturally curious person, that sometimes I get myself in a lot of trouble simply out of curiosity. Sometimes, whenever I read like thematic stories such as this, I'm reading it out of curiosity, out of fascination, because it's these kinds of topics that I would like to understand how an author is going to finish that story. How well are they going to be able to write that story for their audience, or rather any audience? Like, that's my thing, right? That's exactly my sort of thing. Are we halfway done? No, we're not. These are some of the hardbound books that we have. Tada! There we go. It's actually a series. So we have The Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. And then we also have This Only Human and Sleeping Giants. And the reason why I included this here is because this is the jacket and hello. I just think that this cover and this jacket, and it fits so well. The theme of the story is so beautifully like shown in just one illustration. And as a book illustrator myself, you know that a story, or rather a book, is gonna give you that 5-star read if the illustration is already giving so much but also showing so little. Like that's the theme I'm always going for whenever I make all of those book designs that I do. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that for some of the books that I worked on for Wattpad because the publisher is really going for that generic anime looking illustrations. And I was like, come on, are we really just going to stay in that format? Like, you know, Filipino books, here we go again. Filipino books are so much better if we have a variety of genres and covers for all of those books. I mean, sure, the market says that, oh, okay, so this cover works, blah, 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 blah. It looks like an anime, it looks cute, it looks nice. Right. But Really, how are you gonna continue to market your stories as something so much better if you always have the same illustrations just like every other publisher? That's the kind of thing I'm trying to tell that publisher. And a lot of people also agreed with me. Basta yung kung ano na yung nakasanayan doesn't mean that it's going to work for the rest of the market. So anyway, ayun, wala lang, nasabi ko lang. You know what, in the future, one of my clients, if we're gonna make a book, if you want to make a book with a jacket, can we do something like this? Hello. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. My sister, thank God, because our family is a family of book nerds, she bought these. And yeah, here's the thing. At first, the only reason why she first bought this book is because one of her besties, one of her friends, is also a book nerd and also quite known in the Instagram bookstagram department. Anyway, so she convinced my sister to, hey, you should read the story, it's so good. And then my sister started reading it while we were in Canada, and the rest is history. She was like, this book is so good, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna blah 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 blah. And then come 2025, this year, she was actually looking for the hard copies of this book, and then boom, there we go. She bought this in fully booked for 840 pesos. For like, this one is 840, this is also 840 pesos. And I'm including this here because this book is so nice. I wonder if this has illustrations, like character illustrations. No, I don't think so. This book, they're all the same, but it's a different color. But my favorite is still this book. So I'm just including this here because the cover is absolutely gorgeous. Right, this is the last pile of books that I find really beautiful. And I gotta say, I included some of my own work here. Right, so here we have We Are Okay. This is by Nina Lacour. Again, the thematic, really deep stories. This artist, I follow him on Instagram. His name is Adams Carvalho, and I love, again, me and my love for line art. I just like the way that he illustrates things. You should go and check out his Instagram because you're gonna see a lot of this kinds of illustrations. And you know what? I'm gonna say her name because she's not like Voldemort. The fear of the name, only blah blah blah, fear of itself, something like that. Anyway, so this is the Tales of Beedle the Bard. This is where they showed the story about the three brothers. We also own, some of the Harry Potter books. You would know that this book itself is part of that lore. So we have here translated from the ancient runes by Hermione Granger, and then commentary by Albus Dumbledore. It's so nice! And basically, this is sort of a compilation of short stories within that universe. It's actually also an illustrated book. And there's a lot of fascinating, really nice illustrations in here. I don't know if you'd be able to see that, but yeah, I'm just gonna flip it. See? It's lots of it. See? So it's really a nice book. I don't know how long this video is gonna be like, but anyway, this is Bunny by Mona Awad. This is actually my introduction to Mona Awad. And this story is... How can I better explain this? Let's just say Mona Awad is one of those intriguing authors with intriguing stories. It's basically like you are in a fever dream and you're experiencing that fever dream and you're reading this story. Again, reeling in on people trying to fit into a certain group of people. This does introduce a little bit of dark academia in the form of a smut salon. I know. Wait. It's not what you think, alright? It's like an all-females group, and these group of females have a secret, if I must say so. When I stopped reading this book, I was like, what did I just read? What was that? This is exactly how I can better explain Mona Awad's writing. It's so good, but then you're gonna start thinking, what did I just read? I'm telling you, if you haven't read this book, Please, please, give it a try. And then start reading all her other books. And then you're gonna understand why. Why Mona Awards. Right. This is The 10 Loves of Mr. Nishino. So I was actually out with my girls. We went to Conrad. We had our afternoon tea. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go to Fully Book. And then I saw this book and I was like, that looks interesting. And it's really like this short. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick this up. And I picked it up and I bought it. And then we went to the afternoon tea, we're just vibing there. This book, apart from the cover, is so nice. It's about relationships again. It's about how we are part of other people's lives and how some people would see us as like a gift in their lives, and other people would see us as like the villains, or rather the bad people, because of so and so and so. Mr. Nishino is exactly that kind of man, because he's a slut. I'm so sorry. He's a hoe. He's a man hoe. This story is actually for all the man hoes and how your life is going to be if you don't straighten your shit up. And this is also a lesson for the girlies who are like, oh, I'm gonna defend him because I love him. Do you really love him, or do you just like the idea of love? Because not a lot of people realize that there's actually a stark difference between falling in love and dreaming of love. So anyway, cute story. Very nice parallels. Okay, here we are. We have finally arrived into the books that I made myself. Or rather, sorry, not really I made myself, but I was part of the team who made the books How to Make a Serial Killer. This is actually part of the partnership from Wattpad. But anyway, this is one of the last few illustrations and book designs that I made for that imprint. Yes, I made this cover art. If you go on my Instagram, you will see the process of how I designed this whole book. Like this one. Yeah. You see this? You see this illustration? This is a drawing, by the way. I illustrated this. And this is actually my face. Covered in a garbage bag. You know what? Looking at it now, I can still see the ear part in this illustration is where I started to feel so bored. Looking at it now, I'm like, oh my god, you stupid bitch. And I don't know. I don't think a lot of people will notice my wrong illustration part right here by the ear. Right there. I was like, you know what? It's really hard to illustrate a garbage bag. Alright, this one is another one from that imprint. And this is Hunyango by Serial Sleeper. And this is actually one of my magnum opus. Because this is the first book in Philippine Wattpad, I think. I mean, a lot of people also said it. That is pure black pages. Can you see that? That is black. And I fought for the black pages. I was like, this book, if we are really going to start selling this book as a premium, as a one-of-a-kind story, we're really going for that sort of marketing, I'm gonna give you guys the whole shebang, right? It's a dark story? Okay, I'm going to give you a dark cover. It's about creepy stuff? Alright, I'm going to show you exactly how psychotic this book is. And then the layout, my god, I was like, this remains as one of the best books that I've done in my career. Here, at least here in the Philippines, by the way. The international books that I worked on, it was like, okay, fine, whatever. But this one? I'm so proud of this. Plus, I don't know if you can see that, but do you see the spot UV right there? That is a tree bark. And I'm like, let me give you some hints in the story. And I was like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. And yes, did I illustrate this? Yes, I did that. And I was actually thinking of making like a blow up illustrations and like put them here in my wall of fame. So yes, this and this. As you can see, they're both from Serial Sleeper. This is what happens when Art by Carla, takes care of an author. You get really nice books. Oh my god, we're finally down to the last 3. This is My Sister, the Serial Killer. This is by Oyinkan white. I might have butchered that. Please, please, please. I'm so sorry. I'm terribly sorry. The reason why I bought this is because, girl, it's got serial killer on the cover, and the vibe, my god, the vibe of the book itself. Can you see that? It is a funny story between sisters. One of them is obviously the serial killer, and then the other one is so good at hiding the tracks of her sister. And then something happens in the story because a guy comes into the picture, and then one of them's like, oh, he's cute. He's so cute. And then the other one's like, bitch, don't even try. Like, I actually like this guy. Do not go there. But then eventually, shit hits the fan. I'm telling you, this is actually one of those books that I really, if there's something that I'm really gonna urge you to buy, please, please, please buy this book, because this is so good. This is The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. You would know that I am actually an Adam Silvera hoe. I love reading this entire series. This is actually the prequel to They Both Die at the End. I also have that book, but it's just... Oh, right, sorry. I have that book, and it's somewhere in our house library. I don't know, I can't find it, so I still have to look for it later. So I like this cover, I like this book, I like this story, and how it was written. But I just think that the details, if you actually look at the book details, the cover details, you would see that, like, at least in my eyes, this is Death, and then Death is overlooking them. And then you will see that there's a shadow of Death's Scythe here. Scythe. Sorry, what did I say? That cover detail is exactly one of the reasons why I love being a book illustrator myself. It's the little things, you know? It's really just the tiny, minute details that we put into your covers. So that, for me, is what makes and breaks a good book cover. Plus, you know, the story is really nice, and I like the idea of like having an app where it tells you when you're gonna die and all that jazz. It's like having a futuristic Death Note, minus the psychopath who writes the names there. This is House of Leaves. If you have a copy of this book, you know that the ultimate reason why this book is here is because of the layout of the book. So it's a story within a story within a story. In the layout, you're going to see a lot of pages with like such as this. It's empty. And then some parts of it have like really interesting format. There's a page here that has a lot of XXXXS. And then there's another page here that looks like this, you know? It's like that. Apart from the book cover being like this, it's really the book layout that got to me. I'm still waiting for the time and day and the client that's going to allow me to do something like this. If you think you have this sort of crazy, absolutely brilliantly written manuscript, and you're looking for some crazy person in the internet with an absolute amazing energy and really a brilliant mind for design and illustration, hire me. Because I'm telling you, I'm still waiting for the day where I get to find, or I'm found by that author, and then she's going to say, girl, take my hand, and I'm going to take her hand or his hand, and then they're going to tell me, I need you to make me a House of Leaves book. And then of course I'm going to oblige, because who's going to turn down a challenge such as this? This remains as one of the best books that we own in our house library, and I'm never gonna shut up about it. Never. Right, so that is all the books that I'm going to show you that I think are absolutely beautiful. That's it for today's video. My battery is gonna die and I'm tired, and I'm gonna feed the dogs. And what about you? What sort of books do you find absolutely beautiful? Maybe you can comment them down, and I hope you like this video. Please, please, please like, share, and if you like this sort of video, subscribe. I just remembered, I still haven't shown you my Kindle books. Do you want me to show you the books I read on Kindle? Anyway, let me know in the comments. And yep, bye.